What's going on, everybody, and welcome on into another edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct, our 74th overall. I am Steve. I got Timmy T, so I got Ant right on over here.
Where is he? Where's he at?
So where in the world is Timmy?
Where
we'll
in
find
the
out
world?
soon. Yes, for all this older folk. We got a shit ton to talk about today. A lot of little last minute news kind of snuck in, and after we talked about what we were going to be talking about today, but we hope to eventually become a tripod here. Maybe we get to the full square, but for right now it's just the two of us. Ant, it's just the two of us. We're gonna talk. What are we gonna talk about? A little trade that happened in the NBA.
Small trade should only take a brief moment.
Tiny bit. We'll talk about baseball. The playoffs are coming up next week. Wild card series are approaching. There are spoilers happening as we speak. Spoiling going around the league. Be a little happy talk for me. And then some NFL Week 3, and we transition into NFL Week 4 picks. Let's get the party started, my friend. Let's do it.
Yes, sir.
Whoever monkeys in the back, hit our opening. Do it now. Do it. All right, we're back up on in here and on Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Let's start off with the obvious here, and so
minor deal,
the minor little transaction that transpired earlier in the NBA that actually makes both of us happy.
Yes, and we'll get into why.
And we'll get into the why here, but obviously, first off, we talked about last week. We kind of started talking about the Dame stuff again, like some of the news that was coming up. The Heat, with all these smoke screens all over the place. Toronto was in the lead. What the hell's going on? But today, Woj, there was a Woj bomb. Three-team deal. And the Bucks get Damian Lillard. They get to add him to Giannis with the Bucks. The Blazers get this haul: Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, Kamara, a 2029 first round. We're at 2029 picks. We're getting old. That's what that tells me.
I don't want to think about how old I'll be in 2029. How about that?
And then unprotected and a Bucks pick swap. The Suns, who obviously get involved when you hear the name DeAndre Ayton, they get Nurkic. And then I want to say it like this, just last names, Little, Johnson, and Grayson Allen. I'm never going to grow up, everybody. It's okay. It's not the cards. So that's the deal, Ant. So you... What are your thoughts? I mean, we've heard your thoughts on this, on what you didn't want to have happen. And now this happens. Little sigh of relief.
Giant sigh of relief. Giant sigh of relief. Obviously, for months now, we've read about potential packages that he could offer with Juan Javier Vasquez and Jovic and Hero and every pick under the sun and Pat Riley's great-grandchild and whatever else they could possibly throw into the deal. And I've said all along, I think Damian Lillard is one of the best players in the NBA. You cannot debate that. He's 33 years old. He has 4 years left on his contract. He's going to make over $200 million over that period of time. And aside from one or two guards in the history of this league, we do not have examples of small guards performing well late into their 30s.
Right.
So this is a situation where, I didn't want the Heat to trade for him. I know that people will ridicule me for saying that I like some of the assets that they have, especially in the young man, Mr. Jovic, Nikola Jovic, not to be confused with
Not,
his,
yeah.
I believe the person he shares a country from, Nikola Jokic. It is a V instead of a K. But no, it didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Damian Lillard, while he would have provided a lot of the scoring that the Heat definitely could have used another primary, secondary scorer, or technically he'd probably be the primary at that point, but
Yes.
another scorer that they could have definitely used, especially in the finals against the Nuggets. He's going to give you nothing on the other end of the court.
What's up, Terzio?
You kind of already have that from Tyler Hero, just from a far lesser extent. Obviously, Hero nowhere near the scoring threat that Damian Lillard is, and I'm not trying to say he is, but in terms of guards who don't defend anyone and can get hot and put some points on the board, we have one. So I'm not mad at it. I was very relieved. As far as what the Blazers actually got in this deal, it feels really lackluster to me. They get an unprotected 29 first, which is the Milwaukee. It is the Milwaukee Bucks pick, so Milwaukee Bucks 2029 first round pick, and then unprotected pick swaps in 2028 and 2020 and 2030. Um, Maybe the Bucks will suck by then. I don't know. That's what is that? The 2030 one. That's 7 years out. I mean, we're talking five,
Who the
six,
hell
7 years from now. Yeah, I mean, who will Giannis still be playing basketball? Will he? If he is it going to be in Milwaukee? That's probably going to go a long way to telling us if they're any good or not. And who knows if that'll be the case. But I didn't want the Heat to do this. I've long said it. We'll
Well,
go
because
into the
then
season
you'll
with the
have
roster they have.
an aging Lillard making $60 million and nobody else.
To pair with our aging Jimmy Butler, who's also going to be making $60 million in those same
Yeah.
years. People forget Jimmy Butler is 34 years old.
Who in a moment we'll
in
talk about. We'll talk about the little video he put up after the trade was announced.
Yeah, I saw that. Tyler Hero chimed in on that as well, which I thought was pretty funny.
I didn't
But
see
yeah,
that.
so I'm okay with it. I think the Blazers definitely didn't do as good as they hoped they were going to do, and for them to have had this circus go on for the last 5 months, and then for this to be the package you walk away with, and they're not even going to keep Drew Holiday.
Yeah,
It's already been said that they're trying to reroute him,
I think they
which
said
I
like
think,
18 teams reached out about Drew Holiday today.
yeah. But the fact is that unless you get two or three of those teams to actually start bidding on him in an aggressive manner, because of the fact that the whole world knows you want to trade him, guess
Exactly.
what? You're in the same boat again. You have an asset that's aging on a big contract that you want to trade, or that you need to trade, and what's really that package going to be like? I had some Heat fans that are friends of mine texting me, "Oh, they're going to go after Drew Holiday now." I'm like, time out. We just spent the last 5 months talking about how Joe Cronin and Pat Riley like refused to talk to one another, and now all of a sudden they're just going to be best buds and make a deal. I'm not betting on that one. I don't think so.
No,
I don't see that one happening.
it's
So,
a little far fetched.
so
But
I
okay,
wanted your
so but
take on this.
yeah, well, my take on it is that from a fan perspective, there are certain Miami fans that have, this year it's been, the Dolphins are getting Barkley, the Dolphins are getting
Every running back that became
every
available from
running
point
back
guard.
that becomes exactly every running, and it's always been, oh, don't worry, we're getting Dame, we're getting this, so just the excitement that gets deflated from that, gives me a little bit of satisfaction. It just makes, not that the Knicks are vying for a championship here, but it makes the East a little bit harder road to go through. Obviously, but at least in the next couple of years, we'll see
Oh,
what
for
happens
sure,
with
for
Dame
sure.
as he ages. See how gracefully he ages. But I if I'm a Heat fan, I think you guys made the right move, or didn't make the move. But I really want to know what was the final package that was offered, just for comparison, just to see,
So,
you know,
so it
do we
depends
have
on who.
that?
Do, we
Okay,
don't
it's one of
have it
those.
officially. We don't
Right.
have it officially.
one of those.
For those of you that follow Barry Jackson, very, very tuned in beat reporter for the Miami Heat, as well as I don't even think it's fair to call him a beat reporter because he covers all South Florida sports. But he's very plugged in on things like this. He has been adamant for a long period of time now that the Miami Heat never offered more than 2 first-round picks and never included all of the young players in the package. The package that he had speculated on, and I use speculation with air quotes because I think he's trying to say that the package that he was told was offered sounded like it was one of the young players of Jovic or Jaquez, along with 2 first-round picks and Kyle Lowry with maybe one small minor filler here or there. And he said, he made it seem like that was the offer. Of course, he's not officially saying that; he's just speculating.
Right.
But it sounds to me like the Heat were like, "Listen, you don't have another taker in town that's going to offer you something serious. This is our offer. Do what you want with it." And Joe Cronin didn't like that and threw a hissy fit about it for 5 months. And apparently, they never really re-engaged. And there's been reports this week of like, "Oh, they're re-engaging. They're getting back to talking and." Something's going to get done. He's going to go to Miami. And Barry Jackson has been steadfast this whole week. I don't think they're talking. I'm pretty sure they're not talking, and nothing has changed. So it doesn't sound like those talks ever really started back up. And now he's in Milwaukee, which the only thing I didn't talk about when we talked about the trade for Milwaukee, tremendous trade. Absolutely phenomenal. Huge get for them.
It's a great fit.
It's perfect.
It's tremendous. It's ridiculous, by the way. It's stupid silly the way that it fits on paper and in my mind. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
It definitely answers. I know there was a lot of questions about secondary scoring and then scoring late in games when Giannis has all the focus on him. Obviously, it answers both of those questions. As far as the depth and injury questions and all that, it doesn't really change those questions, but those questions you could probably say about half the teams in the league right now, so it doesn't matter. It's a huge gift for them. Are they the favorites in the East? Hard to say they're not right now, right? I mean,
they're
a lot of people
actually now the favorite to win the title. No,
to win the title. So they overtook Phoenix.
Yes, they did. Yes, yes, they did.
Oh man,
the Heat went from, which is odd. I guess part of the odds were like, holy shit, of course, this is all making sense for the Heat to get him. But the Heat went from plus 850 to 22 to 1 after the trade.
Plus 850 to 22 to 1. So from plus 850 to plus 2200.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. I mean, I could see that. There's obviously
again in the short term.
Right. That could change drastically in a heartbeat. I mean, it seems like they were interested in Lillard, but similar to the Beal talks, we're like, hey, we'll offer you this, and if you don't want to take that, which by Barry again, I think he's just probably one of the most plugged in guys when it comes to the Heat. Barry, when the Beal talks were going on, said that he thought Miami should have been more aggressive with Beal because of the low cost that you were going to be getting a arguable superstar. I don't know if I want to call Beal a superstar or not, but
fringe.
And I kind of agree with them to an extent, but that was another situation where it didn't seem like Washington really wanted to engage with Miami. I think this is the problem you have when you're Pat Riley and you've made deals in the past. I won't make it sound like it's more than it is, but when you've made deals in the past that have, made some people look really silly down the road, people don't want to always deal with you all the time anymore.
Yeah. Especially when you are, everybody knows how I feel about Pat Riley, dirty rotten son of a. But when you're as successful as an executive as he is, and like you said, some fleecings have happened along the way. You tend to shy away, and then when said person then draws a line in the sand and says, take it or leave it, you're like, well, I didn't really want to deal with you in the first place. Let me go find something else. And then the last thing I want to bring up, unless you have something else on the trade, is something that Mello actually brought up last week's show, or maybe it was a week before. But he mentioned, or he mentioned, how will Lillard react if he gets traded anywhere but Miami? And I think most of us said that, as long as it was to a contender, we didn't feel that Dame would be the type of guy to say, oh, it's not Miami, I'm not showing up. No, said all the right things to his Portland people, and apparently there's a truth thing video that he's gonna put out to answer questions, I guess, about how everything went down. Maybe that'll be interesting.
So
He
there
just
was
put out
some.
a song. I heard.
Oh God,
I
won't be
saw
listening
it
to that.
before we went on. I haven't heard it yet.
If you listen to it, go ahead and just summarize it for me. I have no interest in listening to that man rap. Um, Good lord. Oh man, there's a number of reports online that while he is accepting to going to Milwaukee and is going to report and all that, there are a number of reports that him and his camp came into today expecting to be traded to Miami. And I'm assuming he means by stuff he was told by Portland brass, and
I'm
was
sure.
not the happiest person when he found out he wasn't going to Miami. Now, I don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying I think he's going to be a problem child in Milwaukee, because I don't believe that at all. We said it all along that if he went to a contending team, he would report, he would play, and he would still be the same old Dame. And I think that's still the case. But seems like he feels a little some type of way about the way Portland treated him on his way out the door. And as I've said for months, he has a valid point. So
And I'm with you 1,000% on it. So, it'd be interesting to hear what he does come out with. But if because I mean, let's be honest. You have your mindset on going to at least the city of Miami, right? And yeah, you're like all confident this is gonna happen, and then boom, you're going to Milwaukee, buddy.
yeah,
Nothing
I mean
against the city
Milwaukee's
of
been
Milwaukee, but
no, it's not Miami though. I mean, maybe
it's
he'll
not
get some good
Miami.
Packers tickets. It's a great football stadium, from what I hear. I say that sarcastically. They still sit on bleachers and not actual seats, but
It's which is crazy. If you are a fan of Mad Dog Chris Russo, he does a little spiel about things that he's pissed off about or things that make him upset. Um, Today I heard it. I could not stop laughing. I encourage everybody to go watch it. It had
oh
me
man,
cracking up. It was just, and then when he got to the Taylor Swift stuff, just I grew up
oh
listening to him, so I know he is not for everybody. He's pretty annoying to some, but I find him to be very entertaining, more entertaining than Stephen A. Smith. Uh, that, that's not saying much. We,
see, I
you're gonna
think
be
people, Well, no, I do agree with you. I think people kind of lose that with some of these guys. I think people listen to them and think that if they're not saying everything, and everything they say is not right, that they're bad. And at the end of the day, yes, their job is to provide news and whatnot, but what their real job is, when you boil it down, is to entertain you. If they entertain you, who cares? Like, honest to God, that's the one of the main reasons I listen to Bill Simmons. I think he's
same.
horrible on a lot of things, but
A
he's
lot.
wildly
He's
entertaining.
out of control sometimes with some of the
God,
things says, but him and
are we
cousin
sure? Are we
Sal.
sure Mac Jones is worse than Tua? Are we sure? Yes, Bill, we're fucking sure.
Wait. Are the Cardinals good? Are,
The
what?
Cardinals. Are the Cowboys actually bad? Like these
Like, who's the
wild
good bad
takes. Like
team? Like,
sometimes
he always pick,
the good bad team. That's one of my
the good
favorites.
bad team, Vegas zone. But one of the things that he said, and we'll go more into when we get to the football stuff. But he says lately he's been taking gummies when he watches sports to keep him calm. He says, half a gummy here, and then he said the thing with the field goal kicked in the Steelers game. He said he had the over. He said I needed a touchdown. It was 4th and 4. He goes nuts. 4th and 4. You need a touchdown. You get the touchdown and get 2-point conversion. You tie the game. You're not getting the ball back. Don't try and think you're gonna get the ball back. He says he kicks the field goal. Hey, the over was 43. What's this plus this? It's under 43. And then somebody said, "Were you on your second gummy by then?" He was like, "No, forget the gummy. I was on the booze by then." Yeah, but he's good. All right. So anything else on the Dame thing? we'll see how this
No?
works out over the next few days. And
Yeah, I expect that we'll get a Drew Holiday trade. My guess would be within the next 48 hours.
yes, I agree with you on that. All right, let's get into some baseball news. Last week we spoke a little bit
Baseball.
about baseball, and it was about Otani, and he got his procedure done. And we'll see how that goes on for him. But I wanted to touch on how the wild card situation is going here for the playoffs, and it is pretty wild to say the least. If you just looked at them just now,
Oh my gosh. It's
so
gotten tighter somehow.
yeah. So Philadelphia clinched their wild card spot yesterday, I believe it was.
Yes, yesterday.
Now it was So now you got Arizona, who's a game and a half up for that second wild card spot. The Chicago Cubs.
What?
Current. What are we doing? What happened here? Chicago Cubs have that third wild card spot, and currently the Miami Marlins, who we did joke around about with Dave when he made his pick that the Marlins were going to the playoffs, and they are a game out of those playoffs right now. And I'm very happy to say that they are a game out because of the New York Mets.
They are. That is true.
If there's one good thing at the end of the season is to get a little bit of revenge from 15 years ago. And it's a shame that Dave is not here because just a little while ago, one Francisco Lindor joined the 30-30 club. God, he's just an awful
that
player.
terrible player.
He's the worst.
So
So
bad.
overpaid and such. All right, so you got Miami at a game out. You got Cincinnati still hanging in there at 2 games out with about 5 games to play, give or take for each team. And then you got the Padres and the Giants hanging on by the skin of their teeth. And a question for you.
They will both likely be out by the end of the night, in my opinion.
That's
the Padres
correct.
and Giants.
That's right. That's absolutely correct. I want to ask you a question. Did you hear the Josh Hader story from the other night?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Refusing to come in the 8th inning.
What the hell is going on here? You're a
Padres.
free agent, dude. You're a badass free agent pitcher. You just
saving
limited.
Saving the arm for next year.
Save the arm.
Saving the arm.
So
he's a lefty, right? He's a lefty.
He's a lefty, but he's a lefty who gets every lefty out, or
every fucking lefty out.
Feels that way, and so the opportunity was to bring in a lefty and shut down that inning, but they had to bring in a righty because he would not come in, because after the game he said these games don't matter anyway. Before the Padres were mathematically eliminated, they are still not mathematically eliminated.
Which I'm about to say, they're still technically not mathematically eliminated.
They're hanging on, but they wound up losing that game 2-1.
I'm going to guess that he's not going to be back in San Diego next year. That's just a bold take, I guess we call it.
He cuts a lot of those guys. They're going to be cutting their payroll to $200 million, but that's what they want to trim it to. But he also cut X number of GMs, owners who will despise what he did and what he said after the game, and just not make an offer or make a lesser offer than what they had planned to make.
I think there's certain teams that would probably just not talk to him after those comments. I mean, there are some teams that don't care and will spend the money regardless. But I think there's a number of teams that will see that, hear that, and see the way he acted and be like, we're not putting this guy in our clubhouse. There's no way. I think that, I mean, obviously Juan Soto, after some tougher times since leaving Washington, has had a really, really solid rebound year, having a great season. He's going to get maybe not as much as we thought he was going to get a couple of years ago, but he's still going to get a bunch of money this offseason from who the hell knows at this point. I don't know how to project these things. Not with him, at least. With Otani, it's a little different. You can kind of, gauge his market based on his interests and what he's made very clear where he wants to play. So the Hader thing, though, I can't remember a team, because I won't just say a player, because we've seen players do stupid stuff like this late in the season before, but I can't remember a team that has seemed this disinterested in playing baseball together. And it's been like this for over, I want to say like over a month now, at least.
Yeah.
Um, I just don't remember a team that's been like this late in the season when they were still in it. Like if there's a number of games that they could have, if they had maybe got their head out of their ass a little bit, they probably are the most talented team of the group teams we named. They should have ran away with the wild card, but here they are,
Oh,
about to be eliminated
listen,
in mere hours. So
the, the Cubs and the Marlins and the Reds should be thanking the baseball gods of what happened to the Mets and the Padres. That's what they.
I
That's the
wouldn't
only
disagree with that at
reason
all.
they haven't. They don't. They have an opportunity. I mean, the Marlins are a game out of the wild card with a minus 60 run differential. The
Which is
Cubs right
insane.
ahead of them with a plus 100 differential, and the Mets long eliminated and shit the bed with a minus 11 run differential.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that we'll ever see a season like this again, like the Marlins have had. The
Timmy.
fact that their expected win loss is 72 and 85, and they're at 81 and 76 is just
Exactly. And your
crazy.
ace Alcantara has been mostly not good. I'm saying that nicely. And now
Yeah,
he's hurt, and now he re-injured his forearm in rehab.
and what's his name's hurt now too. I don't think he's playing again this season. The second baseman who just hits everything.
Oh, all right. All right. Oh my God. Now I'm thinking. Arise.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Oh my God, my brain just farted. I have no idea what I was like.
The
Oh,
Mets
what's
have
his
an
name?
RIUs, so that's I went there and then I lost. I couldn't rebound.
I was about to say Arias. I'm like, his last name is not Arias. What am I like? Timeout.
Well, Timmy, we were just talking about how the Padres and the Mets were a mess, and how the Marlins and the Cubs and the Reds should be thanking the baseball gods that they collapsed so badly that they're in the wild card hunt. And we were talking about how we laughed at Dave for picking the Marlins to go to the playoffs.
But then the Phillies clinched, right?
Yeah, they
Really
clinched
yesterday.
So
it's Arizona is the second one, the Cubs are third, and then the Marlins are a game out thanks to the Mets.
What about the Blue Jays?
Spoiler.
Are the Blue Jays out?
That'll be the Blue Jays are a game and a half up for the second.
So let's take a look at this for a second. Then the way I saw it today, you had the Mets and the Yankees, two of the single biggest disappointments in the history of both franchises, and the rest of the fucking divisions going to the playoffs. All of them.
Except Boston. Except Boston.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I forgot about those assholes. But so three teams from those divisions are going to the fucking playoffs. How disgusting is that?
Well, even if they don't make it, they're at least in contention. Because I mean, the Marlins, who knows right now? But I mean, the Blue Jays, the Orioles, and the Rays have been. Well, really, the Orioles and the Rays. Which, if you had told me before the season that the Orioles were going to win 100 games this year,
wins.
Maybe win 100 games this year. They won today. They're at 99.
I knew the Orioles. I thought they were up and coming. I didn't know they were like now.
Yeah.
They hit fast forward on theirs.
They jumped in the
for real
early.
But for that final playoff spot in the American League, I think the country has become Seattle Mariner fans.
100%. You're stealing everything I was about to say.
Sorry.
Go ahead, go for it.
Houston has that third wild card spot right now. They've lost 7 of the last 10. Seattle's lost 6 of the last 10, but Seattle's just a half game out with 5 games to play.
Everyone whipping out all their old Ken Griffey Jr. gear right now.
Look, and the Mariners sold off. They didn't have a sell off. They traded their closer, which I mean that's a big deal, right? And then they took off from there. Kind of lost a little steam here.
Closer was holding them back. Very obvious.
Yes,
clearly. Is that Ewing theory? Ewing theory.
Ewing theory.
Ewing theory.
All the Bill Simmonsisms. And then Dave is not here today, and so obviously, but Timmy, I wanted to. I really wanted Dave to be here when Francisco Lindor hit his 30th home run to be in the 30-30 club. That very bad, overpriced guy.
He's very overpriced. He had a very bad year.
Awful.
Horrible. Who would want?
And he had the nerve to compare it to Correa. Jeez.
Speaking of bad years, of actual bad years,
really bad years.
although he's still going to the playoffs too.
Yeah. Well, is he healthy now?
Oh no, that's right. He's out.
He's out.
I totally forgot, but he's not even playing right now.
But when was the last time the Yankees and the Mets had to watch 3 teams from their division go to the playoffs while they fucking sitting at home? It's a disgrace.
It's never happened. I can tell you that right now. It's never happened. Because there's never been this many fucking playoff teams before.
That's true too, but
it's like 7 teams go to the playoffs. Like,
but the odds are we're gonna have a fucking AL East versus an NL East World Series, and it's like fuck.
The worst thing ever. It's terrible,
isn't it?
Well, at least if the
Astros
Astros get out, and we don't have to worry about them.
Oh yeah, right now it's all about the Astros getting out, and then I root for the National League teams. I don't give a shit about the American League teams. Once the Astros are done.
Just some scores that are impacting for the playoffs. Mets and Marlins tied 2-2. Top of the 7th, bases loaded for the Marlins. We'll see how that works out. You got Burger up at the plate. Braves and Cubs are tied 3-3. That's in the top of the 9th. The Padres and Giants are playing each other. So for sure,
loser leaves. It's a loser leaves match.
Holy shit! The Astros and Mariners are playing each other.
That's incredible.
This is glorious. Let's go Mariners.
Why can I not see where's the? Never mind. I don't know. For some reason, I can't see the score. Where's the score? I just want to know the score. What's the score of the Mariners Astros game, please?
No, it's has not started yet.
Okay. Well, that's why I can't see the score. I feel better now.
Maybe that's why. But yeah, all
10
right.
o'clock.
Definitely not as. It's definitely not as late as I thought it was.
The Mets beat the Marlins earlier, 11-2.
Playing spoiler, huh? Revenge.
15 years later. Sorry, stupid Marlins. Glavine give up 8 fucking runs in the first 2 innings.
Yeah, but it was a couple years in a row the Marlins fucked up.
Yes, it was.
So it's not like it's
in a row. But the Glavine one is the worst because you were like, oh, we got Glavine. Glavine's going to take care of business here. 8 runs.
I think I brought this up before. Have you ever seen Last Play at Shea?
Yes.
Phenomenal documentary.
Great documentary.
About the Mets and Billy Joel like simultaneously coming up together. And that's like the saddest. Even I'm like, this is the sad. You're about to blow up your stadium. You blow a lead. You're not going to the play. Like, this is the saddest ending ever. Then you got Billy Joel playing, good night, my sweetheart.
Yes. What was worse in 08 was because it was the Mets still had a chance in the last game again. And again, it was again. But you had like Citi Field being built in the backdrop. So it was like really like this is it. Citi Field's in the background. This is it for Shea. We just fucked it up again. Could have had playoff baseball at Shea that year.
My old boss is in that video, by the way.
Oh, really?
He's the guy. If you remember the guy hanging on the thing like a monkey, like a gargoyle, with his hat to the side.
Probably, yeah. Probably.
That's my old boss. After I saw that, I called him and said, "You're a dick." That's all I said to him. You're not my boss no more.
All right, let's get into some football, fellas. Little pigskin action.
I like
little pigskin action.
I honestly don't know what happened this weekend, but okay.
We're gonna fill you in on some of the things. First, we get a Super Bowl performance announcement, and it's Usher. Reaction. And
everyone was already more interested in another musical artist than what they were doing on Sunday shortly thereafter.
That is right. I'm sure he's got his fans, but I just don't see it as a Super Bowl lively.
No. See, I was against Bruno Mars too, but you know what? Bruno Mars puts on a hell of a show.
The show was good.
He's a showman. I kind of dig him way more than Usher. I couldn't even name an Usher song. What's an Usher song?
You got it bad, baby.
A song, or you just telling me I got it bad?
Both. It is a song, and you got it back.
I don't know. At first, I was like, doesn't he sing that pony song? Nope, not him. That's Genuine. I was like, all right. Then I'm lost. Sorry, Usher.
All
man.
right.
Whatever happened to rock and roll? Whatever happened? Or do a little mix-up, do a little mashup. Like, why is it always got to be Usher? Or
actually, I heard somebody saying that that Usher might want to bring a rock and roll element to it. So
good.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Right? I guess I could see it.
I wonder who that would be, though.
With NSYNC getting back together, it should be an all boy band halftime show.
Oh, eyes peeled, baby.
New Kids on the Block, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC.
You bring all the first song. What's the first song sound?
98 Degrees.
Yeah, you bring them all back. Cares. Yes. Bring back Who's Left of the Jackson 5 and bring one of them kids out to sing. Michael. Bring them back. New Edition. Bring back New Edition to play. I'm serious.
He said
Milli Vanilli can come out.
The remaining Jackson 5.
Yeah, Milli Vanilli
comes out.
Well, they weren't like a boy band. They were Fugazi.
But anyway. They were exactly. They're band boys. All right. So okay, that's that. Next, I just want to get this out of the way. The whole thing with Taylor Swift. That's another thing that Mad Dog goes on about in his rant today. How they spent too much time showing her, and he says, "Hey, Travis, what are you doing? What you got her in the press box with your old lady, meeting her 5 minutes into the relationship?" He was just going off here.
Not to speculate, and not that we should spend more time talking about this, but it actually seems I listened to New Heights today, which I listen to them pretty regularly anyway. Mm-hmm. But I listened to today's episode, and they did talk about it. It sounds like that's been going on for longer than we have been led to believe.
Yeah,
just
which would be great job by them. Excellent work.
Oh yeah. The fact that they kept that under wraps, incredible.
That's really good stuff.
Did you hear the part about how he approached her? Pimp. Yeah. He's a pimp.
Yes.
He autographed the football. Said, "I enjoyed watching you rock Arrowhead. Now why don't you come watch me rock Arrowhead with the signed football?"
He went to her show at Arrowhead.
Yeah.
And I guess at the shows they do the friendship bracelets.
Yeah, that's
trying to give her one, but the one he was trying to give her had his phone number on it.
I heard the football one, not the other
yeah,
one.
It was the bracelet. Yeah.
That's funny too.
So just some stats, since this is a sports show, some stats to put to this. Since Taylor Swift was at the game on Chiefs Bears game on Sunday, 400% spike in Travis Kelce jersey sales. Kelsey's podcast shot to number one in the rankings overall on Apple, not just in the sports section.
I didn't see that. It was over. I thought
where are we? Where are we?
We're number 2. He jumped us finally.
We need Taylor Swift.
Okay. 383,000 additional Instagram followers. Now, this one is not so far-fetched, but it is far-fetched because the Chiefs were playing the Bears. 24.3 million viewers, number one watched game of the weekend. 63% jump.
More than just the weekend. That was like the number one most watched non-playoff game in like 3 years or something like that.
63% jump in female viewers age 18 to 49.
Makes sense.
And then increases on Chiefs searches on the web, Chiefs sales on StubHub, and the Chiefs sold more tickets in a single day since the start of the season.
Yeah, and also tickets for this Sunday night's game that is in the Meadowlands versus the Jets. Chiefs are going to be in New York playing the Jets. Those tickets, I don't know if you checked the prices, they are skyrocketing.
There
so if you want to know why the NFL keeps showing her when she's at the game, I think we've kind of answered your question there.
Listen, and I did. This answers the question: who's more powerful, Beyonce, Taylor Swift? It's Taylor Swift.
It's not close
by a mile and a half. It's like not even.
It's a serious thing.
You guys are
earthquakes out there.
You guys are a little bit older than me, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Have you ever seen a musical act with this kind of like people going crazy?
Well, Michael Jackson back in the day was pretty.
And I know social media obviously adds a lot to it, But I mean, you're talking about her selling out like 80,000 seat stadiums and then having 25,000 people outside the stadium knowing they can't get in just so they can hear it and party and stuff outside. It's just wild to me. I've
she
never
does
seen
what?
anything like it.
Is that true that she does 44 songs?
Oh, yeah. It's over a 3-hour set.
Yeah.
Also, and for anybody who's ever been to a concert, you should be blown away by that because that's insane.
I'd be exhausted.
Are you kidding me? I'd be exhausted watching it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Jeez.
I saw 20. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired.
There's a great TikTok out already where this woman's teasing her husband or her boyfriend, going, "Hey, did you hear that Taylor Swift put this Kelsey guy on the map?" And the guy goes off. No one knew who he was before he started dating Taylor Swift. He's like, he has 2 Super Bowl rings, 10,000 yards. What the fuck are you talking about? Just poking the bear. It was so great.
But in the grand scheme of things, they're not wrong. No one on an like, think about this. She's like internationally famous. Like if she goes to an airport in Taiwan, she's flocked by fans. If Travis Kelce goes to Taiwan, they're like, there's a random big white guy in the Taiwan airport. What is this?
Not
like
anymore.
They don't know what's going on. Yeah, not anymore.
Travis Kelce's life is forever.
That's it.
Forever ruined.
No matter what happens. So somebody said, just imagine if Taylor Swift had agreed to do the Super Bowl, and they break up right before the Super Bowl, and he's in the locker room, and she's bad-mouthing him out on stage.
And then my new hit single, "Touchdown in the Rain," would become number 1. Just saying.
Out next winter. All right.
Out 6 months from now. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, let's get into some football action, and I'll toss it to you really quick, Ant, on what the hell the Miami Dolphins did to I almost said Seattle for some reason. Sorry, yes, to the Broncos.
Can I say real quick before you started? I was on the train coming home from Florida, and that popped up. It said 70. I actually did this to my phone. What? I was like, to a digital phone. I was like, nah, that can't be right. Like, am I really seeing it? I was a little delusional from the ride, but yeah, I was like, no way that happened.
Yeah. So there are. I'm sure people saw the tweet by now. There's some Dolphins fans watch the game together as a family. And every time the Dolphins score a touchdown, they take a shot of tequila. Yes. They were fucking hammered this Sunday because 10 touchdowns is a lot. So to put this into perspective, the Dolphins won on Sunday 70-20. 70 is the most points scored in an NFL game since 1966. I'm not even sure that we have video of that, or anyone.
It was before the Jets won their Super Bowl.
We're not going to talk about Joe Namath in this.
There's not a lot of things that we could talk about that happened before.
I could bring back the Anthony's angry rant of the week, and we'll talk about Joe Namath. We'll save that for next week, though. 70 points, the most points since 1966. But probably my favorite stat. Okay, the amount of yards the Dolphins had in this game. The Dolphins ran 71 offensive plays for 726 yards.
Ridiculous.
There are college teams that put up 90 points on Saturdays that don't have 726 yards. Mm-hmm. There are NFL teams that won't have a 2-game stretch this season where they put up 726 yards. They
if you put up all 4 of the Monday night teams scored 71 on Monday night combined. Those 4 teams on
they would have beaten the Dolphins by 1.
I won.
all 4. Just to run through some of these stats real quick. The Dolphins had 376 yards passing. 309 of those came from Tua, who threw for 4 touchdown passes. Then Mike White came into the game and hit Robbie Anderson. Or excuse me, his name is not
Chosen, baby.
Anymore. Robbie Chosen on a 68-yard touchdown.
Wait. Why? Why? What? He changed his name, right?
Yeah, his name is not Robbie Anderson anymore. It's Robbie Chosen. His last name is Chosen.
All right. Okay.
Just telling you his name, man. I'm just telling you his name. Hit Robbie Chosen on a 68-yard touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 9 catches for 157 and a touchdown. Raheem Mostert, 7 catches for 60 yards and a touchdown. Rookie Devon Achane, as he has said he wants his name to be pronounced,
Yes.
4 catches for 30 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. Now we'll go to the rushing stats. Achane, 18 carries for 203 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns.
18.
Yeah,
18 carries.
Raheem Mostert, 13 carries for 82 rushing yards and 3 rushing touchdowns. And Dolphins' 4th-string running back, Chris Brooks, 9 carries for 66 yards, no touchdowns, unfortunately. They had almost the exact same amount of yards on the ground as they did through the air, 350 on the ground, 376 through the air. They had 5 touchdowns each way, 5 through the air, 5 on the ground. And now on the season, Chris Brooks, who I once again will say is the Dolphins' 4th-string running back, has more rushing yards than Dalvin Cook this season. Just throwing that out there. It was a historic game, and the Broncos should be embarrassed because they got embarrassed. Some of the no-look shovel pass was one of my favorite things I saw on Sunday. Right-handed. Oh, that was the other stat. Tua threw 2 right-handed touchdown passes in this game, meaning he was tied for second this week in touchdown passes thrown right-handed, while also throwing 2 more left-handed. So pretty good week for Tua.
That's a hell of a week, and if you had any of those guys in fantasy, just it's kind of Let me tell you what I thought when I was watching that game. When they went up, it was 14-0. Or did they go for 2 on what? I think they were up by 2 touchdowns, and then the Broncos scored, and they looked good on the next drive. I was like, all right, this is what Miami does sometimes. They'll take a lead, let the other team right back in, and then the gods heard my thought, and they were like, let me bam, 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 bam. So
not today.
Not today. All right, the game that I want to talk about was Chargers Vikings, because you had two teams that most people have going to the playoffs. You had two quarterbacks who can sling it. You had one team was finally going to get a victory, and then the other team was going to be like, oh shit, panic time, alert, alert, alert. So your top 2 passing quarter numbers for this week was Justin Herbert at 405, Kirk Cousins at 367, combined for 6 touchdowns and 1 critical pick at the end of that game that Kirk Cousins threw. The decision for the Chargers that did not come back to bite them, which typically will come back to bite the Chargers, right, Timmy? Unless they're playing a team like the Vikings, I guess. It was 4th down and 4 from their own 24, minimal time left in the game, and they went for it on their own 24, up 24-20. What was the rationale behind this? I didn't get it until today. So the rationale behind this was that the Vikings had no timeouts left. Okay, if you don't turn the ball over on downs there, you're right there. Staley wanted to finish the game with the ball.
Why?
He's an idiot. Can we just
there it is.
He's an idiot.
There it is.
Staley is the fucking worst coach. He really, really is.
First coach fired.
He should not be a head coach of a team. He really shouldn't be.
And the Vikings messed up, Madison's first good game of the season. I think at 90 yards, some passing out there. Hawkinson. The scary thing is Justin Jefferson, especially for fantasy and for the Vikings as well. Justin Jefferson at one point in the game leaves the game after not being contacted, and was like, holy shit, what just happened? And it was cramps, thankfully. And then Hawkinson, he comes out for a couple of plays. You think he might be hurt. And I have both of those in various fantasy teams. But in the end, it comes up again with what we talked about. The Vikings last year, great in one-score games, and this year it's gone completely awry for them. 0-3 now, and if you look at some rumors out there, maybe Kirk Cousins is headed east. Not east, Dave. Not east. Don't get excited out there. Could be headed east. We'll see. But the Vikings at 0-3, rough. I got two questions for you guys on for football. Number one, there's 3 undefeated teams. Which team do you think is the least likely of these 3 teams to make the playoffs?
Name
40
the Dolphins, Eagles, Niners.
Yes.
That's rough.
I mean,
Gun to your head, you have to pick a team. All 3 of them are probably going to make the playoffs, but through the first 3 games,
see, I don't think the Niners, because they're in a weak division.
Yeah.
The Dolphins are in a super strong division, so maybe
well,
knock on wood for you, man. An injury.
Yeah. I agree though. I think it probably has to be Miami.
I would think Miami. I think they're gonna make it no problem. I just think if you had to pick one, I'd pick them.
I don't know that I agree so much as on the division part. I mean, obviously we know the Jets defense is still very good, and we know the Patriots are gonna always kind of be a pest. But I think it's the conference, because I think in the North right now, the Browns are at the bottom of the North at 1-2, and the rest of the division's 2-1. The AFC West, not real competitive there. So maybe not, but I mean that North division, I think I had it in my picks. I think I had 3 North teams making the playoffs.
I think you might.
And I stand by that 100%. I still think, as bad as the Steelers have looked offensively, that fucking defense, man, good Lord.
And the Browns too. Where did their fucking top 5 defense come from? Jesus.
Steve, who did I put as my defensive player of the year?
Myles Garrett.
Yep,
Mr. Garrett.
100%. But that dude is an
Mr. Garrett,
animal.
not Mr. Garrison.
That's a crazy defense.
Flip side, you got 4 0-3 teams. I guess that this might be an easier one. Panthers, Bears, Vikings, Broncos. Who turns it around? Got
Broncos. Name them again. Broncos, Bears.
Vikings, Bears.
Without any changes to the team whatsoever.
Yeah.
Vikings. Then I would say the Vikings can turn it around.
Who was the fourth one?
Panthers, Bears, Vikings, Broncos.
Yeah, you got to say the Vikings. Just on, I mean, it's excuse me. Sorry. They have the NFL sack leader right now in Danielle Hunter. They have the NFL's leading passer in Kirk Cousins. They have the NFL's leading receiver in Justin Jefferson. They're 0-3. You got to say the Vikings. I mean, the defense is horrid, but my God, that offense has some weapons.
It's crazy.
And the Broncos, I'm sorry, but Sean Payton fucking hates Russell Wilson. Doesn't want him. Is stuck with him.
Life right now. I think
can't
he's like,
stand
what
him.
the fuck did I do?
But this is from the beginning. They said the rumors were right away. He does not like Russell
right.
Wilson. He does not want Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson sucks, and so that team ain't going nowhere.
That's a messy situation there. Messy situation.
I think it's all part of their plan. I think they're trying to get a high draft pick so they can go get a quarterback.
Yeah,
me personally.
They had Sean Payton, his quote from last year about how the NFL will eventually have to move to a lottery type pick system because of teams tanking, and here he is 0-3 losing 70-20.
It's going to be really interesting come mid-October if some of these teams are still really floundering like this, to see who just completely packs it in and is like, all right, Caleb Williams, here we come.
That's it. Yeah. All right. Let's do a quick go through of any other games that you want to touch on. Just really quickly. Cowboys. Yeah.
Yes, actually, you know what? Let's just real quick. Everyone's concerned. I said this in the group chat the other day. Everyone's concerned when they let Kellen Moore go, and Mike McCarthy said he was going to take over play calling. was that the offense was going to start to look like the Packers offense looked the last few years of McCarthy in Green Bay. Guess what? We're there. It's here. The Cowboys offense has become the Packers offense those last few McCarthy years, where the situational awareness is completely non-existent.
It's a
The
mess.
play calling is terrible, which is what we.
Cowboys are 3 for their last 11 scoring touchdowns in the red zone. 3 trips to the red zone.
They have a horrible quarterback.
11 trips, 3 touchdowns.
Yep. I'm sorry. Yes. 3 touchdowns, 11 trips, and not even against the Cardinals will that get that.
We are the fighting McCarthys. Let's go, baby. Field goals galore.
Hey, for all those Cowboy fans that said the Giants' comeback was a fugazi because of who they were playing, right there, baby, right there.
Let me ask you guys something, because the one I want to talk about again, and then Shannon brought it up, and you called me a mush for it. The Bengals, my pick for a Super Bowl, my pick for MVP. What the fuck is going on with them? Do you think Joe Burrow is really more hurt than we led to believe, or you think it's just they just suck?
I think we underestimate how much his ability to move around helps that offense move along. When he has to stay stationary and in the pocket, it's going to be rough, especially for an offensive line that has never been great at pass protecting and clearly got worse this offseason at pass protecting. I think they're going to be okay, though. They do this every year. They were 2 years ago when they go to the Super Bowl, they started 2-3. Last year, they started 0-2, still won the division.
But how many touchdowns does he have?
Every year. 3?
3 total, 3? Right? Yeah, he had none this weekend, right?
Oh, maybe it's 2. Because he didn't have any week 1.
Did he have any this week either?
He had no touchdowns, 1 pick this week. 259.
So it might only be 2 then. I think he had 2 in the not the Browns game. The fuck they played last week. Was it the Ravens? The Ravens game.
The Ravens. Yeah. Yeah, and he had a rating of 59.
And the only other
back hurt again. Just want to throw that out there.
Been low. Oh, is this me or you guys? Can you hear me?
You. Yeah. You're back.
You're back.
Okay. Sorry.
You were very robotic there for a second.
Well, it's funny because on my end, you guys looked robotic. I thought it was you for a second. I'm like, nah, it's probably me. Packers. Jordan Love looked terrible for 3.5 quarters, and then drove them down the field on 2 impressive drives and won them the game. So, I think he's going to need a little time, to really get going and get comfortable. He definitely got to quit missing open receivers. He's missed Luke Musgrave on at least 3 passes this year that would have been like 40+ yard touchdowns. Yep. All 3 of them. He's wide open running down the field. It's just like,
speaking about missing players, did you guys watch any of the Rams game yesterday? How many times did Stafford miss?
Oh, I'm sorry. That was me watching that game yesterday.
Miss Williams.
Horrible.
Like, out of the backfield, I lost a fantasy game by 2 points. By 2 points. And he had 2 catches on 7 targets. And they were
Would you have rather had a game like mine and Tim's game where he just blows the doors off from the get-go and you have no chance?
Well, I'm also 0-3 in our league. I've now lost 2 times where injured players have been left in lineups. This time it was Waddle.
Can I ask you a silly question?
Please do.
You have all the injured running backs, right?
I have all the injured everybody.
Can you explain to me how Achane fell through waivers and I got him? Because I was blown away that I got him this morning.
Well, actually, in another league, a guy dropped him last week, and somebody picked him up. And,
it's funny because
and did not start him though.
I had another league, so every Sunday, if I have injured players, I throw them in the IR slots, and I just pick up flyers. Well, maybe this guy will have a good game today. In one of my other leagues, Christian Watson to the IR. Let's see if Achane has a good game today. And he's obviously sticking on the roster now. So
you think a little bit? All right. Well, that'll transition us nicely into your fantasy segment.
Fantasy football.
Little fantasy stuff. Speaking of injuries, speaking of how what you can do to replace some of these guys, Ant's got your answer. All your answers right here.
I got some information for you. That's for sure. So we're going to talk about a couple of players that, either maybe off to slower starts that I would target, or players that are off to better starts.
All these guys are going to be on my team.
and the first, well, I guess this is really like a tandem, but the first tandem I'm going to start with, and maybe it's cheating a little bit because he kind of got going Monday night, but we're going to talk about the Bengals, who we just talked about for all the reasons we already laid out. They've done this the last 2 years in a row. They've started slow. Burrow has started slow. I want to say last year through the first 4 or 5 weeks, he was like the QB 15 or something like that, ended up finishing in the top 5 at the quarterback position. This is what they do. I know that he's got the tweaked calf, so it's a little worse this year. But all 3 Bengals, Higgins, Chase, Burrow, if someone in your league has them and they're freaking out right now, go trade for them. Trade for them. Go get them. They're going to get going. They're going to be fine. They're way too talented to struggle. Just go trade for them. Go get them right away. Now, as far as another player that is struggling, well, not really struggling. He was okay weeks 1 and 2. But another player that I really, really like the long-term long-term value of, and some people will not agree with me on this, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, throughout his career, averages over 100, I think it's 115 yards per game when the temperature of the game is below 50 degrees. Ladies and gentlemen, October is about here. It's that time of year where the Yeti comes to play. Also paired with a very easy down-the-stretch schedule for him as far as matchups rushing. And for those of you that like to focus on the fantasy playoffs, Derrick Henry plays the Houston Texans in the first round of your fantasy playoffs and in the championship week of your fantasy playoffs. And I don't know if anyone knows this, but he averages like 180 yards a game against the Houston Texans. So you should probably go get Derrick Henry as well. Now, players that have started out a little bit hotter that I would be looking to maybe move on from or see if I could really get a haul for. And the first one may surprise some people. Who is it going to be? Christian McCaffrey. Through 3 weeks, Christian McCaffrey is averaging 25 touches per game. That is a 425 touch pace. If anyone cares to look up the stats on what running backs do when they touch the ball that much, it's not good. It's usually injuries. Yeah, it's not good. And Christian McCaffrey, not the biggest guy around. I think that if the Niners don't start focusing on taking some of this workload off of him, I don't know that he's going to last the full season. No, I'm not predicting injury. No, I don't hope Christian McCaffrey gets hurt. Yes, I hate the 49ers, but I love Christian McCaffrey. He's such a joy to watch play football. I don't hope he gets hurt. It's a risk I would be very nervous about, especially with the way they're using him. And right now, you can probably go get 2 or 3 other high-quality starters for him and fill out some holes on your roster while not having a huge downgrade at the running back position. Right now this year, if you drafted one of the first 20 running backs, there's an 80% chance that you're disappointed because that's how many of those guys are suck right now or are hurt or just whatever you want to call them. It's the tale we go through every year. So McCaffrey is going to be probably your most valuable trade chip in the league. He's the number 1 fantasy running back, I want to say, by like a mile right now, unless David Achane caught him on Sunday. He might have. He had like 50 fantasy points. And in a regular league, he had like 50 fantasy points. But no, I would seriously consider trading McCaffrey. I just think the haul you can get for him, you should be able to trade Christian McCaffrey and get, like, say you're thin at receiver. I think if you called up the Justin Jefferson owner, you could throw McCaffrey and a lesser receiver and get Jefferson and not a comparable running back, but like a decent running back, and that's probably a better way to go. At least you should have more consistency and not as much of a fear for injury. So Christian McCaffrey is the one, not necessarily because I fear that the production won't be there because he's obviously going to perform as long as he's on the field, but I do worry about, possible injury. Another player, I got 2 of them here, and I know I just talked nicely about, kind of nicely about a Niners player. I'm going to talk nicely about a couple of players for the New York Jets, another team I fully despise. Listen, Zach Wilson, over the last 3 years, in almost every statistical category you can come up with, is the worst quarterback in football. Zach Wilson is not going to be the quarterback there all year. I would bet money on that. Regardless of who they bring in, it will be better than what Zach Wilson is now. So what I'm getting at, go trade for Garrett Wilson. The Garrett Wilson owner right now is probably freaking the fuck out. You could probably get him pretty cheap. Like, a mid-tier running back or something. Like, you could probably get him pretty low. I would target him right now, especially. I mean, I don't even care if you have good receivers on your team. Target him. If you don't want to start him right away because you're scared, stash him on the bench for a few weeks. But I would go after him. And then the other one, this was a running back that a lot of people talked about before the season as a guy who could be a league winner. It's Breece Hall. The workload's going to change. I know it hasn't been great the last couple weeks after it wasn't tremendous week one, but after his blow-up performance week one. At some point in time, the Jets are going to have to be like, hey, we just wasted $8 million on Dalvin Cook. Breece Hall needs to be the guy. And I think that every time Dalvin Cook touches the ball and gains a half yard or doesn't catch a pass or something like that, we're just getting closer to that Breece Hall day.
Yeah.
So Breece Hall is another one. And the Jets, while the beginning of their schedule was a fucking gauntlet and still is for another like 3 or 4 weeks, the back half of their schedule is not terrible. So Breece Hall is another guy I would look after. And those are my fantasy options that, you know, guys that I would be looking to maybe go acquire, maybe help build up your team a little bit. You know, Steve, I hear you're 0-3. I have a couple of the guys I just named. If you need to talk, let me know. So
if I lose to another team that doesn't set their lineup, I'm playing Ed's going to set his lineup. That's the key.
I'm gonna send him a message and intentionally tell him to put in an injured player because it guarantees him victory.
Actually, Eddie, just playing me guarantees a victory right now. So,
Fair enough.
Really quick, back to the Chargers game. I forgot to mention another thing. That they almost wasted. Keenan Allen, the ageless wonder, 18 catches, 215 yards. 18.
That's not it.
What else did he do? Wait. He also threw a touchdown
for 49 yards.
I did a double to a guy who has since torn his ACL, also on one of my teams. So that's.
I'm gonna need you to send.
That's how I won this week.
And make sure I move all the players that I have that you have too.
That's how I won this week. Keenan Allen.
He had a quarter of your points.
Yeah, he did. he made up for fucking T. Higgins, who hasn't done nothing. I thought T. Higgins was a slam dunk.
Don't worry, he scored enough for all your receivers on Sunday.
He did.
All right, we're gonna get into our picks in just a second here. I have a list, not a controversial list this week. I don't think there's going to be much controversy. There might have been if Dave was on. He might, try to sneak a troll pick in there, every now and then. But let me go ahead and bring this up and not expose everything. Not that I exposed myself last week, but
you got to figure out a better word to use there.
Exposed. All right. This is going to be straightforward. There might be some things that we see differently, but this is going to be the top 5 disappointing team starts this year, based on expectations, based on this, based on that. So I struggled with ranking these teams, but I think I got it right here. And at number 5, the Minnesota Vikings, making the playoffs last year. You have the offense that you have. I
want a sound effect when you flip the numbers over, please.
There should be, yes. Figure that out. I'm gonna build that in because now I want it since you did the noise. But you think about how they won their games last year and how they were 11-0, 1-score games, and just to come out and have the complete opposite of that and 0-3, you can't get more disappointing than
0-3. All 3 games, 1-score games, by the way.
Exactly. Just the flip side there. 0-3. 8 more to go, guys. 8 more to go. All right. Next up on my list, bing, the Chargers. Chargers won.
The Chargers ahead of the team they beat.
Because 1-2. This is a team that always finds a way to lose football games, to lose big games, to not make the playoffs. Already in a big injury, they are exposed for their lack of depth at the running back position because Joshua Kelly is shitting the bed every week. And now Mike Williams is out for the year with a torn ACL. We'll see if Palmer can stay. Does he want to be called Joshua too?
Joshua. He wants to be called Joshua.
Joshua.
All right. Next up on my list, expectations over the offseason were sky high, and it just hasn't been there yet. The Jags come in at number 3 for me, losing badly to the Texans. There's just no excuse for that. And maybe he is a fraud. Maybe Kyle was right. I flip-flop from
CJ Stroud doesn't look like a fraud right now.
CJ Stroud does not look like a fraud, everybody, at
An
all.
Ohio State quarterback who's good? What is this?
What's happening? What's his name? Ridley had a great first game, hasn't had much since. So maybe it's something that they're struggling, trying to figure out what to utilize and where, but so far ain't working. Number two. Just I wish Dave was here. The Broncos coming at number 2 here. You bring in Sean Payton, everything's supposed to change. Russell Wilson is becoming less of a diva, I guess. I don't know. You're not getting your personal quarterback coach. You're not getting this. Raul says, F the Jaguars. They cost me in the knockout pool. A lot of people got knocked out of the knockout pool because of the Cowboys. You got the Jags. But the Broncos, look, you haven't really. Judy played on Sunday.
Yeah, he came back last week. He played last week and this week.
So you had your full complement of players. Your defense is what was supposed to keep you in games. Did it kind of, sort of last year. But I'm going to use the word again, Ant. The Dolphins exposed the Broncos to be a bad football team at every single angle of their team. Now, I will give a little bit of that to the home field advantage for the Dolphins, not so much in the fans, but the weather. One side of the field, their side of the field, having the shade, and there, which is fine. I don't have any issue with that. It is what it is.
Hey, we're not talking about architecture here. We're a sports podcast, all right?
It's like, hey, what are you doing? But it was like a 20, 25 degree difference in temperature on one from the Dolphin side to the opponent side. Lends a little bit of help there.
The big thermometers on each side of the field. And one of them's like, oh, it's only 75 over here. It's 138 on this side.
It's not 70 degrees anywhere here.
No, in the shade with a fan, you might be okay.
I get maybe. But they just Russell Wilson had 306 yards. It's not necessarily his fault. I mean, this was a total team effort to give up 70 turnovers.
Total team effort.
I mean, that's it.
Everyone was involved.
Everyone got involved. Yeah, I like
Broncos
that.
country. Everybody, let's ride.
Oh, they rode.
They rode. All right. Well, Dolphins rode all over them. I guess they should have stopped short of beating a dead horse. I don't know. Just came to me on the fly like that.
What a great dad joke right there.
That was a great dad joke.
A great dad joke.
Wow. I don't know. I just looked to the right. I saw Broncos and I thought, look at that.
See, we need the ba-dum-pum. We need the fucking sound effect on here.
That's it. And I'm spent, guys. I'm spent. You
should have walked off. Good night, everybody. Good night.
Yeah, Costanza. I'm done. Good being here. All right, and then of course, for everybody, for I don't know, Terzio's here. Number 1, the New York Jets. Obviously, Super Bowl expectations from some. Rodgers, I don't know if you saw him on McAfee this week, but he stopped short of saying relax. He said it's a long season, blah, 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 blah. No matter how you spin it, Zach Wilson is not doing anything near to what Aaron Rodgers could potentially have done for the team. The locker room is in shambles. This is a complete disaster. Like the defense, unnamed source, I guess, or maybe since been named, said if any other player would be playing the way he is at his position right now, he'd be benched. And
it rhymes with Minin Films. Quinnen Williams, Finnan Williams. I don't know. That's what it rhymes with.
But are you sure it doesn't rhyme
keep
with
that quiet.
Hardner?
Yeah, we'll keep that quiet though. Minin Williams said something like that.
That's
sure that TJ Hosley.
So it really is a disaster, top to bottom, over there. Sauce Gardner's pissed. The defense is pissed. Garrett Wilson's pissed. Who's the backup running back? Michael Carter's
position coach.
What's happening right now?
They actually want Mike White back. They want Mike White back.
and
they could have kept him. They could have kept him.
They're legendary. Under 500 Hall of Fame coach is saying that the quarterback is trash. So it must be true.
Their legendary Hall of Fame coach. They have a coach that's in the Hall of Fame.
Quarterback. Sorry.
Oh, fuck out of here with that guy. Fucking bum. Zach Wilson probably puts up better numbers than he did. They're fucking trash.
They're this close together.
Yeah,
but as of right now, Zach Wilson is just a hair worse.
He has the lowest QBR since 2021.
Since Joe Namath.
Since Joe Namath. Fucking asshole.
Just straight on through. Like he's just not good. And did you hear was it the head coach that said it? Somebody said it, that the Jets need to speed the game up for Wilson so he doesn't think his way into mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, with a quality offensive coordinator like Nathaniel Hackett, it's a wonder they haven't turned it around yet.
Wait, who's happier in the world right now than Nathaniel Hackett? By the way,
see, that's what
not for what's going on right now, but he got blasted for being a terrible head coach, but he didn't give up 70.
But that's why you can't bring in an offensive coordinator,
just
for your specific quarterback. You have to bring in that guy who wants to play because he's he was Aaron Rodgers' guy. Aaron Rodgers is gone.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what to do. He's like I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
He's never called plays.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with this guy. What am I going to do with Zach Wilson? I don't know who this
guy is. You've gone from coaching Aaron Rodgers to Russell Wilson to Aaron Rodgers to Zach Wilson. What a downward spiral of a career. That's not the way you want to go, guys. All right, let's get into our world famous picks, guys. Nothing more world famous than we need music. It's been too long with no music for this. But we get right into it here. Couple updates. The Marlins have taken the lead on the Mets 4-2. I think the Cubs won. Oh, the Cubs took the lead 5-4 over the Braves, and the Braves win it in 10. That means the Marlins are now a half game out. If the Mets don't come back in the bottom of the ninth, they'll be tied. Jeez, what a crazy thing going on here. All right, let's get to our picks here. Thursday night, we start off in the not yet frozen tundra. The Packers hosting the Lions. The Lions are 1.5 favorites here heading into Green Bay this Thursday night. Let's do it. These are all live picks. Ant has done no research. We're on the fly here. Where do we go here? I did not put together. What did I say our records were?
You two were 10-6 this week. I was 8-8.
Yeah, what was Dave?
0-16.
6-10.
6-10. That's a rough week, Dave. It's a rough week. We'll hope you bounce back.
Was it 6-10? I think it was 6-10.
It was 6. Or maybe there was one thing that I hadn't done yet.
He's sending us messages. He could just jump in and tell us.
He should. All right. So Raul's got the Lions here. Timmy, start off with you.
I too will be going with the Lions. I think it's their time. It's their time to start peaking. And I like Green Bay too a lot. I do like Green Bay, but I'm gonna go Lions.
I reluctantly picked against the Lions last week. I didn't want to do it. I felt like I had to do it, and it burned me. And I won't do it this week. Give me the Lions.
You're not going to do it again. Fool me once.
Can't fool me once. Can't fool me again.
So is this going to be this might be the week where the Packers are at full strength offensively?
Probably not.
They're two.
Too often, David Bakhtiari and Elgin Jenkins
Bakhtiari,
are both out.
Bakhtiari definitely out. The skill position players potentially playing. We'll see. But as close to full strength on offenses as they potentially have been since week 1. But I have the Lions here. Lions taking out the Packers. That's a clean sweep of those who made it to the show today. Sunday morning. Hello,
the
fellas.
Toy Story game of the week.
Toy Story.
Ooh, I can't wait for that. I'm very excited.
As am I.
If they do it right.
I think they will. Is it gonna be Woody's gonna quarterback one of the teams? I'm sure Buzz will be the quarterback of the other.
I have no idea.
Toy soldiers at the line. I don't know.
The NHL did this with a game last year, actually. It's pretty interesting. So you're watching it and it's like cartoon characters playing, but it's actually showing you the cartoon characters actually playing out what's really happening on the live feed. So it's pretty interesting. Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
So this one's in London. Falcons at the London Jags. Jags are a 3-point favorite in their home away from home. See if they can turn it around this week. I, for one, think that they do. So I'm going to go with the Jags here. Ant, go round the opposite way here.
I'm not sure why the Jags are favored in this game.
Not by 3. I thought it'd be like a 1, maybe 1.5.
It's actually up to 3.5 right now.
Oh, is
it?
Or
no, I'm sorry. It opened at 3.5. It's at 3 right now. So it has been bet down already. I'm gonna take the Falcons here. I think that the Falcons' defense has not been bad at all thus far. And offensively, if they get that running game going, it's going to make life very difficult for certain teams. And I think the Jags are going to be one of those teams.
Okay. Timmy.
Both make valid points. And the Jaguars, the Khan family said that if they don't get their money, they're leaving. We're probably going to go to London.
They'll be the first.
The London Black Knights will be there. According to Madden. But I am going to go with the London Jaguars. Thank you, Raul. I'm going to put that on there for you. Yes, I'm going to go with the London Jaguars.
All right, Jags. For me and Timmy, Ant goes with the Falcons. Next up, we got a nice 1:00 game to open up.
I was hoping not to do this game this early.
It was the first of the 1:00 games on my betting sheet. I mean, schedule sheet. Dolphins at the Bills. Bills are a 3-point favorite here. For me, I can see the Dolphins. Waddle will be back. Just another weapon for them to have. He's coming out of or already came out of concussion protocol, or they're thinking tomorrow. But I think not that they'll hang 70, but I think the Dolphins can put up 35-40 on any team in the NFL right now. Any team in the NFL. It's tough to go against Buffalo in Buffalo though, and your nerdy head coach, another quote today.
I hate that guy.
Said, I fucking love him.
I know you do, of course. You
fucking love him.
What they say about the revenge game? They asked him if it was any revenge factor here, and he says, he goes on for a couple of seconds about something, and he says, if you can't get up for one of these games, then you might check your blood pressure, or maybe considering changing jobs.
He should be
Because
he should be a fucking HR rep for a computer company.
He's
not a head coach for a fucking football company.
And he's the faces that he makes when they're asking the questions, and he's just like thinking through what corny ass shit he could say. That's what I feel like is happening. And Miami Dolphin fans are in all their glory when he's speaking. They all love him. All of them.
I love that little fucking nerdy ass genius. He's awesome.
Oh wait, I started the last one. Tim, you start with this one.
I'm gonna go with the Dolphins.
Good idea to whisper there.
Let me go last, at least, since it's my game.
Okay, yeah. So, all right. Where okay, Dolphins here. Shit. This is tough because Buffalo did what they did last week on defense, but they've also gotten a solid run game now with Cook, who can catch anything out of the backfield.
That's really good.
You got Diggs. This is such an unpredictable game because you can see it just going 40-37 or something like that. I'm rambling now. I'm going with Buffalo Bills. I don't feel good about it. I don't feel good about either way here.
Oh man.
Yeah, you're the decider now. You're the decider.
I have to go with my Dolphins. I can't pick against them here. I don't believe in the whole jinx thing. If I truly didn't think that they had a good chance to win, I would pick Buffalo. I don't know. As a Dolphins fan, I'm conditioned to be like, all right, here comes the tragedy. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it coming in? And maybe this week it's coming. But until I see it, I got to go with what we've seen on the field thus far, which is they are a monster offensively. A track team is an understatement to how much speed they put on the field. It's absurd. The chosen one, Robbie Anderson, the artist formerly known as Robbie Anderson, is like their sixth receiver, and he's also like insanely fast, as we saw on his bomb touchdown, where Patrick Surtain couldn't keep up with him. So, give me Miami. It's gonna be a good game.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great game. But
that'll be the game on the big TV while Red Zone's on the small TV this weekend. So
that's a load 'em up, same game parlay, over on this, over on that, and then it becomes a 17-14 game. That's what happens.
I'm not betting on that game. I'm just gonna sit there with my bottle of whiskey and just every time it starts going bad, I'm like, fuck.
All right. So we got that game. Next up, the Vikings, the 0-3 Vikings, head to Carolina to play the Panthers. Vikings are a 4-point favorite here.
Any updates on Bryce Young?
Trending well is the last time I saw. Let me see. Trending to the good. Participated fully in practice on Wednesday. Expected to start.
I'm going Vikings anyway. They got to win one. This might be the one, and this might be the one.
What that guy said.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's sweep this bad boy. Vikings across the board. All right. Next up, the team that lost 70-20 is favored this week, guys.
The real game.
What is
of the week.
The clear game of the week? The Broncos.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
3.5 favorites at the Bears.
This should come with an apology before the game. Look, we're real sorry about this game.
Do we have any information we need to get out of people to torture them?
I got 2 great tweets. I wish I could put them up on screen. 2 great tweets I saw this week. One about Justin Fields. And what it said was, for those of you that play Dynasty Fantasy Football, you should not be looking to unload Justin Fields. Let us not forget that Terrell Pryor had a 1,000-yard receiving season. So there's reason for hope for Justin Fields. The second tweet was about this game specifically. And it said this game should go straight to DVD. And that one killed me. I was like, that's fucking hilarious.
I still wish I remembered the guy's name who legitimately picked the Bears to win the Super Bowl and just feels to be the MVP. And he was dead on serious and saying, "Well, wait till you see what happens." And I can't think of the guy's name because I would just keep playing that every show.
We're still waiting.
I'm gonna find him. I'm gonna Google that guy and find out.
I'm gonna go with the Broncos. I know they just gave up 70 points, but they just have, I guess, better weapons.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with them too, just because I said this is one of those games where one of them has to win, right? And might not be the Broncos. Well,
theoretically, yes.
Imagine a tie.
Oh, if they tie, that's gonna be the greatest thing ever happened.
Oh my
god.
Ant, who you got in this one?
God, I hate this. If this game pops on Red Zone, I'm gonna throw my TV out the window.
This might never go on Red Zone.
It's true. That's very true. Oh, it's such an ugly game. I've got to think that the Broncos, after that kind of an embarrassing loss, not that the Bears didn't also get embarrassed by the Chiefs last week, because they also lost by like 30 something. But I got to think the Broncos are going to maybe have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder this week, right? I mean, you got to. I would think.
If ever.
50.
If ever.
Yeah, like, if you guys ain't getting up for this
the
game,
Bears, it's like, I mean, Taylor Swift was there. What do you expect is going to happen?
They were shell-shocked. The Bears, I get it.
They were just staring up at the suite, you know?
They're like, damn, she really is here.
And it's so funny seeing Adam Schefter tweeting out, Taylor Swift is at the Chiefs game. Adam Schefter.
but then that led, once he tweeted that, like all of NFL Twitter for a good hour and a half, 2 hours was just Taylor Swift tweets. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
We can confirm. I had to confirm the story. I confirmed it and I tweeted it.
You see the sideline too? Everybody looking up at the press box like waving like a bunch of fucking schoolgirls. I was like, you bunch of wait a fucking that's how you know they were playing the Bears too. If they were playing like the real team. They was focused on this game. They're like, oh shit, Taylor Swift's up in the box.
Yeah, I'll take the Broncos. I don't like it at all, but yeah, give me that.
I don't like it either, but like I said, I think Sean Payton's like enough of this shit. We can't go 0-4.
Or he's truly tanking for Caleb Williams, and they're just going to come out super flat.
Raul says he'll pick this game, but he'll pick the Broncos.
If they come out in this game and they just look like complete shit, then I'm totally convinced that Sean Payton has like fooled us all into thinking that they were going to be good this year. He's like, nah, I want Caleb. Bring the USC kid to Denver.
Bring him in. Next up, seems like a good game here. Ravens at the Browns.
Great game.
The Browns are a 2.5-point favorite. Browns did well last week. That weird play that absolutely impacted some fantasy games, I'm sure. Amari Cooper not stepping out of bounds, but a whistle being blown on his way to a touchdown down the left sideline. Whistle blows, clearly did not step out. So
they need to come up with something for that. They have to give something. I don't know. Give them a point. Something. They got to do something for that. That's bullshit.
And you can't even like challenge because you blew the whistle, so everybody stopped.
The ones that really piss me off are when there's like a potential turnover on the play and like it's a close call. Like, did he fumble it? Was it intercepted? And they're like, nope, dead ball. I'm like, just fucking let it play out. It's going to get reviewed anyway. Like, just swallow your whistle, let it play out, and then we'll review it after. But we got to blow the whistle.
Yeah, something like that, though. It should be some kind of...
Yeah, that one was way more...
Like a reward. I don't know. Or extra timeout and a free replay. Something along those lines.
They should make the referee who blew the whistle stand at midfield while everyone boos him.
No, they
boo this man.
Pull your pants down while we boo you.
They take the closest defender and Amari Cooper, and you race from wherever he supposedly stepped out. If he wins the race, that's touchdown.
Sack race.
That's right, baby. I'm bringing it back. Imagine them trying to realign all the players where they were when the whistle got blown. All right, guys, nobody move. Nobody move. Ready? Oh, not yet. Not yet.
That won't take a lot of time.
potato sack race.
You're here.
But you've got to admit that would be so entertaining to watch.
Oh, it would be. All the rest of you watching the big board going, okay, you're 3 feet to the left. You're here.
Come here. All right. So Ravens, Browns, in a good matchup in Cleveland, and Browns are 2.5-point favorites here. Timmy, who you got in this one?
This is a hard one. I think I say that, but this is a hard one. But I don't trust the Browns. I know they have a great defense. I just don't trust them. I am going to quote the Raven evermore.
Got a little Raven action for Timmy. Ant, who you got?
I actually wanted to look this up beforehand, and I didn't because I just got busy doing other things. I didn't get a chance to look it up. I wanted to see John Harbaugh's record after his team loses. Just wanted to see what they were because I know they don't lose back-to-back games often in the Harbaugh era in Baltimore. With all that said, the Ravens are extremely banged up right now. They're missing multiple linemen on, I think, both sides of the ball. I have to take Cleveland here. Myles Garrett is, in my opinion, got to be the leader right now for Defensive Player of the Year. So, yeah, give me Cleveland. I don't like it, but I'll take Cleveland.
2 games in a row that we're not liking the pick. As Timmy said before, you both make compelling arguments here. Not trusting the Browns is a very compelling argument, and that's where I'm leaning here. I'm going to go with the Ravens. If for no, I
don't trust the Ravens either, but I just don't. I mean, if you start breaking down piece by piece, it's Lamar Jackson, Deshaun. I'm going to go Lamar Jackson. So that's just like you got to break it down to all those little individual pieces. So,
and now you get a little closer to with Flowers, you get a little closer to the best thing that this guy might have ever had. Next up, Steelers at the Texans.
Steelers. Wow, another fucking game.
I don't think that
Steelers are a 3-point favorite. Texans coming off that beatdown of the Jags. All that being said, I am going to go with the Steelers.
I'll let Tim go last. I too am going to take the Steelers. The way, obviously, with Cam Hayward being hurt currently for Pittsburgh, the way to slow them down and beat them is to run the ball. And as soon as you are not able to run the ball and they are allowed to let those pass rushers pin their ears back, could be a very long day for Mr. C.J. Stroud. And the Texans' offensive line, this has not been really talked about. 4 of their 5 projected starters coming into the season are not playing right now on the offensive line. And this is not the defense where you want to hear that because those guys, their fourth edge rusher is Marcus Golden. Marcus Golden is not like a great pass rusher, but when he's your 4th pass rusher, your 4th edge rusher, that's really good. Like really, really good.
Pretty good.
It's pretty good. So yeah, give me Pittsburgh.
He was terrible for us, so fuck him. No, I'm going Steelers also.
All right. Well, clean sweep there. Next up, pardon me, Rams at the Colts. Colts are a 1.5-point favorite here.
Oh, this week is a shit show.
That's an ugly ass game. Oh my god, fuck.
Anthony Rich is supposed to be playing though, isn't he? Did he make it? He practiced
like
today.
Sounds good.
Wow.
I went first last, so Timmy, I'll start with you.
I mean, when in doubt, I usually go with the home team, but you know what? First time all year, Ramalama Ding Dong, baby.
Ding Dong.
I'm going with the Rams.
Ramalama Ding Dong.
For the first time this year. Fuck it.
All right.
Give me the Ramalamas.
And who you got here?
I am going to take the Colts. The Rams' offensive line, which we thought would be shaky coming into the season, is starting to look incredibly shaky. And while I'm not crazy about the Colts I'm not crazy about the Colts edge rushers. DeForest Buckner is an absolute monster in the middle of that defense. And I think Anthony Richardson is actually going to be really, really good. And I don't think the Rams defense is scary, aside from the scariest defensive player in football, Aaron Donald. But give me the Colts in this one.
Yeah, and Richardson needs to chill out with taking those hits
Yeah.
already, early.
I think the Giants should trade for Quentin Nelson and DeForest Buckner, both of them. Nice package deal. Bring them over. Bring them both over.
So I'm gonna go with the Colts being at home. Close matchup. Even though you got some exciting weapons on the Rams side of the ball, they've been a little bit more surprising than what we thought. Next up, Bucks and Saints. Saints are a 3-point favorite here. I'm going with the Saints here.
Is Carr playing?
Carr is maybe not playing, but I'm still either way. I'm going with him. I'm going with Jameis Winston.
Oh, fucking Jameis Winston! I can never go with Jameis Winston.
Never a good idea to go with.
This is an ugly week of football this week.
So I'm going to get up early, watch the Toy Story game, and then maybe take a nap after the Dolphins game.
That's the best game of the week so far. Dolphins-Bills.
It is easily the best game of the week. Wait till we get to the primetime games.
They should be fucking flexing that game already. I know you can't do it this early in the season, but I'd be flexing that game.
The second Aaron Rodgers
time worthy.
They should have flexed it. They should be like, never mind, Jets, no more primetime games. Sorry, guys.
All right, who we got, guys? It's going to be a tough week. There's a lot of non bets taking place here this week.
Just means there's money to be made, baby.
I don't like this one at all. No Carr, but the Saints are at home. Baker is Baker.
We get a boxing match mid game between Marshawn Lattimore and Mike Evans. This is the annual event that we get every year. These two hate each other, and this will be the week that they fight it out.
Fuck it, I'm gonna go with the home team. Saints.
Little Saints.
Saints.
Gonna go marching in. And
if
Carr is doing everything possible to play.
Didn't he like partially tear his AC joint or some shit? I don't even know if you can tear an AC joint. I just know that's what he hurt. He tore it. Clean off.
Jameis Winston, baby.
I can't fucking pick Jameis.
I can't stand Jameis Winston either, but I can't pick Baker Mayfield against this defense.
Jordan Love drove down their throats twice last week. Just
late.
Give me Baker. Give me Baker, and I'll take the Bucks.
You are so gonna regret this. I'm telling you, you're gonna regret it.
For Mello one time. Yeast.
Yeast is flat, baby. All right. Next, we got a couple of we got a few snooze fests here coming up.
To sweep.
But we're sweeping. Eagles clean sweep over the Commanders.
Sweet.
Howell threw 17 interceptions last week. Looked fantastic out there. Here, Timmy, ready for another one? You're gonna hate this one. You're probably gonna hate this worse than any of the other ones. The Bengals are a 2.5-point favorite at the Titans.
My two jinx teams.
How is that only 2.5?
But you know what? I'm sticking with my guns. I'm sticking with my pick. I'm sticking with fucking Joey Burrows, and I'm going to go Bengals.
Joey Burrows.
Yeah, I have Bengals.
It's prime time. Prime time. He's going to want to show off prime time now, you know? Like, hey, look, we're back, fuckers.
Titans pass defense made Deshaun Watson look good again. They're going to make Joe Burrow look like he's not hurt.
Yes, this is right. This is true. Raiders, Chargers.
Oh, God, it gets worse.
Chargers are a 5.5-point favorite. Jimmy G not likely to play. He's still in protocol.
No. Who's their backup? Is it Brian Hoyer still?
Is it Stidham?
I thought he was in. Isn't he in Denver?
Raiders.
Fuck,
backup.
I don't know. All these bum ass backups. Who cares?
Just Tim Tabala. No. No, it's Brian Hoyer. We'll start Sunday if Raiders.
Chargers by 100.
Chargers.
Wait. You didn't let me fit. If he's unable to go,
he's not playing. It's Wednesday night. If he's still in protocol now, he's not playing.
Chargers.
I mean, technically tomorrow is really the tell day, but yeah, I'll take
right.
I'll take the San Diego Chargers.
Let's go Chargers.
Whales vagina.
Vagina. The Whales vagina Chargers. That's what I'm thinking.
Next up, you got the Patriots at the Cowboys. Jack with a hell of a pass into triple coverage.
Oh, that was such a bad pass
to seal that deal. Bad.
According to him, it was a great pass. It was just a good interception.
The only way that pass doesn't get intercepted is if the 3 Cardinals players that were there collided with each other. That was the only way that wasn't getting turned.
That reminded me of the 07 Romo pass. It's like, dude, who are you throwing to?
who are you throwing about?
Were you throwing the R.W. McCorders on purpose? Because that's a great pass then.
That's the name I haven't heard in a while.
Yeah,
but that pass though, like usually when a quarterback gets tricked by a defender, like the defender's like lurking like off to the side or like behind the receiver and then jumps in front of it. That defender was right in fucking front of the receiver, like just right like there. I'm right here. Just thanks.
Hey, thanks.
Appreciate it, Dak. Patriots at the Cowboys. Cowboys are 6.5 point favorite here. I'm gonna go with the Cowboys in this one. I don't see them losing two straight to inferior teams. But I don't
like McCarthy.
I don't like the. I wouldn't. I'm not betting this. I'm not taking the points here. But I say the Cowboys win this game. Timmy.
Yeah, Cowgirls.
Cowgirls for the win.
Mac Jones is Zach Wilson level bad when he's under pressure, and the Cowboys can create pressure. Give me the Cowboys.
Very bad. All right, here's nap time, guys. Nap time on Sunday afternoon. The Cardinals at the 49ers. The 49ers are just going to stomp them. This is not.
Are they?
Yes. This is not a Cowboys situation. This is.
Are you sure?
If it was a 20-point spread, I would take the 20.
I'm actually thinking about taking. Let me see what this is in my.
Don't do it.
I have to do points over there. I want to see what it is first. Hold on.
Well, for the sake of
13.5.
I'm going with Brock.
Birdie. Little Brock? Huh? Little 49ers Brock. And Brock. That would be bold if anybody picked the Cardinals here. But
no one's going to pick the Cardinals to win outright.
There are people.
No, there's not.
That will do it. Next up, your Sunday night game.
Sweep.
The Chiefs at the Jets.
Sweep.
Is Taylor Swift traveling with the team now? Does she have a concert that night?
She lives in New York, so it's cool.
So I'm singing all Taylor Swift songs now.
The Kansas City Swifts for the win.
The Swifts for the win. All right, I want to catch up on Raul. I haven't been seeing in the comments. Saints, Rams, Steelers, Eagles, Bengals, Chargers, Cowboys, 49ers, and the Taylor Swift Chiefs. Monday Night Football, fellas. The Seattle Seahawks going to play the New York Football Giants. The Giants are a 1.5 point favorite here at home. We will not know about Barkley until Monday.
I'm going last.
So if you have him in fantasy, only hold him out if you have. If you have our backup.
Let me help all the fantasy players out there. He has a high ankle sprain. He's not playing. Dayball can try all this funny shit. He's not playing. I'll bet.
No, I don't think Dayball said anything this time.
I don't care who said it. He's not playing. It's been 11 days since he had the high ankle sprain. He's not playing.
No, he's not.
He's not playing.
Fragile. By the way, any Giants fans, if you use the code MNFNYG, Monday Night Football New York Giants, you pay no fees. 0 fees this week for Monday night tickets in Giant Stadium. So there's no tax, no Ticketmaster fee, no fucking parking fee, no
That's half the price right there.
jersey discount fucking fee, or no, printing the ticket out fee, whatever the hell fees you got.
Is that a real thing? Like they really
Yeah.
have that many extra fees on tickets? And
I got the email.
Yeah, Ticketmaster processing fee.
And Ed did call me. He said, "Do you want to go?" I said, "If I didn't just get the life sucked out of me in Disney, I would have, but no."
That's right. That's a lot. I'm gonna go with the New York Football Giants here. I had them winning this game before the season. I'm gonna stick with it and have them win this Monday night game somehow. Prime time hurts us. All right, I'm going with the Giants before I tuck myself out of it. Ant, who you got?
oh, God.
Rough
I
week
like
for these
this game.
games.
Again, 1:00 game. I'm picking the Giants all the way. Monday night fucking game.
Is this the Giants' third primetime game already this year?
Well, there's next week more to come.
No.
4 in the
Next
first
week?
5 weeks.
Next week, when's the Buffalo game? Next week or the week after?
After, I think.
Give me Seattle.
I'm not sure.
Shut up, Ant.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
I'm sorry. You pick Baker Mayfield and against the Giants. That's the Giants have.
I've been talking to Melo too much. I might have to rethink some of these picks.
Giants are not on national or prime time next week. They got the Dolphins.
Oh, where's our press passes?
After they put up 70 points against the Denver Broncos, I'm not going anywhere near that stadium.
Well, shit, let me go then. I'll be the representative. I volunteer as tribute.
All right, listen to me. They got that, and then the is it Sunday night game, October the 5th? Yeah, Sunday night game against Buffalo. All right, so you got the
What a fucking
Seahawks.
start to the year schedule wise. Jeez Louise.
Someone hates them bad.
Weren't we talking about how the East in baseball were so amazing? And we kind of have the same thing in football too? It's pretty wild.
I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to do this.
Okay.
And that's all I'm going to do. So I didn't actually pick them, but I did. But I didn't.
I typed the name of the team.
I never
that
said it.
Never actually said it. I never actually said it, universe. Never actually said it.
It's not out there. It's
Nope.
not out there.
Well, I did pick them in the beginning of the year for this game, so I'm not going to change it now. Especially against fucking Geno Smith, you son of a bitch. So that's who I'm.
Are the Giants? Is the Giants defense going to like try and tackle people this week?
Probably
that would
not.
be great if they did. Just saying.
Yeah, we're gonna do our best out there. Really quick on baseball, Astros have a 4-1 lead on the Mariners in the bottom of the 4th, which is against what we're rooting for here.
Boo!
Giants are up 2-1 in loser leave town match out there. The Reds lost to the Guardians 4-3. The Marlins lost or split the doubleheader with the Mets 1-1. And the Cubs lost to the Braves. So do they up to the standings immediately here?
They used to.
Around with me. Don't do this.
Refresh.
It is updated. So it's Philly, Arizona now 2 games up on the second wildcard spot. The Cubs and the Marlins are now tied for the number 3 spot. Cubs with a positive 99 run differential. Marlins with a negative 58 run differential, and they're tied. And Cincinnati's a game and a half out, and San Diego and San Francisco about to be eliminated. So that's
they're already eliminated.
That's it's there. It's happening.
It's a loser drops the sand in their name match. They will just be known as Diago from now on.
Frisco's not bad. The Frisco Giants, huh?
Well, wouldn't it be
you can't call them the Diego Padres. You can call them the Frisco Giants.
Isn't it Francisco?
What did I say?
Francisco?
Yeah,
You said
Francisco. Oh, sorry. You can still Francisco Giants is fine. Diego Padres doesn't work.
It's Diago.
Diago.
San Diego.
All right. Let's get up on out of here. We covered everything. Covered a shit ton of stuff here. Let's get a little last thoughts on before we do that. Timmy, what you got there? In closing remarks, any words of inspiration to this wonderful audience of ours?
Go Giants, die Astros. I don't know, man. I'm back in the saddle this week. I'm just excited. So I hate missing a week. It drives me crazy when I miss a week. I don't know what the hell's going on. So yeah, and go Bengals too. I want my pick to get back in the saddle again. So let's go.
Giddy up. All right, Ant, what you got?
If the Giants defense can clone Marcus McFadden and just get that effort from like 6 of the 11 guys on defense, they'd be unstoppable. The Dolphins just scored another touchdown. Thank you.
I saw that is a former player's national team. Okay, I didn't know this, and I heard the name for the first time in years. Chase Blackburn, the former Giant, who's now in special teams coordinator for the Rams. I didn't know that, and I heard his name mentioned. I was like, oh, hey, he used to do stuff for us. All right, so that'll do it for us this week.
Intercepted Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
Yes. Yep. No,
that is true. Wow. That's a piece of trivia right there.
Covering a murderer.
What a statement.
Murderer had no shot at it.
Intercepted Tom Brady in the Super Bowl while covering a murderer.
Just saying.
Potentially a serial killer. Actually.
Nobody else can lay claim to that. That has never ever happened.
None of that statement was false.
Amazing but true, based on a true story.
I see no lies.
All right, next week's our 75th show, so join us for that. We'll cover week 4 in the NFL, preview week 5.
I demand new music. I demand sound effects. I demand it all for 75.
And I want to renegotiate my contract next week.
Let's see what we got. All right, live renegotiating.
I'll pull a Dame Lillard. Don't do it.
I want out. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and peace out, everybody.